And I want to pick up on a current threat to our city's economy and public services relating to immigration status. You were just talking about the retrospective nature of the reform proposed changes, and you talked about the importance of people having certainty and knowing what the rules of the game are. Now, I want to talk about the changes that the government made to the salary threshold for a skilled worker visa with just 3 weeks notice as it went through Parliament. And this affects over 200, possibly as many as 300 TfL employees who are on graduate visas, and they started working for TfL with the expectation to transition to a skilled worker visa, but they are now at risk of losing their jobs and their regular visa status. Now, I've heard from 10 TfL workers who are in this situation, and Avi is, is sitting in the audience, and other people are listening online. One of them told me he's married, he can't sleep, he doesn't know what to tell his wife. He left everything to come here, and he feels that politics has taken everything from him. So my question, do you recognise that the July visa changes are having a terrible impact on TfL customer service assistance employees on graduate visas?
Yeah, thanks for raising the question. I had a question later on which I've had the answer. Yeah. I was playing around with my folder to get the answer because it's a really important issue that affects us, and I'm really grateful for her raising it the way she has and giving me advance notice. Just to confirm, Chair, her experience from speaking to just one person, for a number of people, our experience is that a number of TfL staff have been left in limbo, unclear about whether they can stay in the UK, but also importantly for us, continue the important work they do for us. By the way, it doesn't just affect us, it affects hospitality, it affects health and social care, it affects construction, it affects creative industries.
Yep, I was raising the TfL point because that's something that relates to you.
So the Deputy Mayor has written to the Minister to raise tangible examples of the difference it has to TfL and our ability to fulfil our functions, bearing in mind some of these jobs are crucial jobs. It's also moving of the goalposts because a number of these jobs you can transition up to the higher skilled jobs and higher wages. So the Deputy Mayor's written to the Minister for Migration and Citizenship. At the very least, we're asking for immediate transitional protections because that will help the constituents she's mentioned and stuff. I'm more than happy, Chair, to share with her the response, but also to follow up after the meeting about what more we can do to try and lobby the government, because this will really impact TfL's ability to carry its functions.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the transitional protections is one of the key asks that people were asking for, and also the Migration Advisory Committee was apparently, as part of this, was going to be doing a review of the impact, and actually delaying it until the Migration Advisory Committee has done its review would actually help some of these workers and protect their situation.
That's one of the asks in the letter. Sorry, Chairman. I'm happy to share the letter with her because there's no secrets, but that's one of the asks we've got.
Excellent. That's very good. So I now want to move on to another issue, which is that these workers have been are in a situation where their graduate visas are coming to an end, and they have to they are at risk without some kind of change in the situation of being asked to leave the country. These are people who have done everything right. They've applied to TfL for a graduate visa. They have studied, they've done a second degree, they've paid their fees for their tuition, they've paid their NHS fees for having access to NHS care while they're studying. They've joined TfL. TfL was a sponsoring organisation. They thought it was a decent organisation, and they're now left in this terrible limbo. So they'll be glad that you've written to the government. But I think that the way that they are being treated now by the HR systems in TfL could do with some fine-tuning. They're being told, oh, just get in touch when you've got 12 weeks left on your visa. But then when they get in touch, they're told to go to a website. They need personal engagement. They need people to actually engage with their particular situations. I've had people say they can't sleep. They don't know what to tell their wife. They thought they'd done everything right, and the rug has been pulled out from under their feet. So can you work with TfL to to make sure that these workers are getting really good support and advice and legal advice about their situation, because they risk becoming having unregular visa status.
So, Chair, two things I say in response. Firstly, yes, we'll make sure we reconsider what we're doing. Secondly, can I ask her to encourage all those who contact her to contact the confidential employee assistance programme? He'll give bespoke advice, because obviously there's different types of visas different individuals have, so we can't give a general advice, but I'll make sure we review what we're doing, and we'll just touch base with her to make sure, from the conversation she's had with workers, that we're doing all that we can do to make sure we support them.
Thank you very much.